All right. I'm doing these all in rapid succession right now. This is Rinse and Repeat Part 2. And it relates to Part 1, but it's a totally different story with totally different characters from the past, not the future. So we're looking at 1980s Atlantic City again. I always keep going back to Atlantic City. I don't know why. Season 1 is like maybe four episodes all based in Atlantic City. It's just a interesting setting, I guess. And this one is one of my favorite scripts. It's like 70 pages. It's a little bit longer than the other one. If somebody ever came and loved this script and they said, we want to turn this script into a feature movie, of course I would say, okay. And I'd find another story to put in its place. And that's for any of my script. I'm not like a stubborn person like that. If anyone liked one of my scripts and said, we want to make it into a separate entity, not a part of your series or whatever, yeah, I'm down with anything. But this one could be a feature. It's got all the elements of the 3-act story, like a 3-act drama. And the part 1 was kind of like my idea of a caveman Jesus, like the shaman, the tribal elder, who's the healer of the tribe and stuff. This one is like the homeless Jesus, based in Atlantic City in the 80s, during the war on drugs, during the Reagan era, I guess. So I think I said it in the early 80s. There's a political election involved in this one. It gets a little political, but I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying there's some politics in this one. But the main character is Manny. He's a homeless man, kind of up there in years. And I don't know what they really term him as. He's kind of homeless Jesus. He tries to give food to the homeless. Everyone kind of knows him. I don't know. He's like if you could picture a homeless mayor, like he would be like the homeless mayor, I guess, trying to keep everyone cool and everything, trying to teach people how to survive on the streets and stuff. And the story kind of follows him mostly, but there's also another character who just became homeless. And man, he's kind of taking this young kid under his wing to teach him how to survive by scrapping metal and going into abandoned buildings and taking the copper wiring and doing stuff like that. How to get free food from people he knows in the community. He'll go to a fish market and get the fish heads so he can feed people, like the homeless Jesus metaphor, the symbolism there. And so yeah, it takes on homelessness. It takes on people down on their luck trying to build themselves back up. Because eventually Manny, with another group, with a large group of vagrants, they start a church together. Yeah, it gets weird. It gets really weird. They started church together. Manny's like a deacon, preacher, whatever you want to call him. And there's really no denomination, but in this one, he does read from like the Bible and stuff. So I guess it's kind of like a Christian church, I guess. So he's reading from, this relates to the marathon episode because he's reading from this Christian pamphlet that Joe from the marathon episode gave him. There's kind of an intersecting universe between those two episodes. And so Manny starts his church and it's going well. Like he's getting a community of homeless people to try to build themselves back up. And the story goes from there. I don't want to give away anything else. Yeah, homelessness is a tough one to get into. Like, I don't want people to read this and think I'm being like insensitive towards homeless people or anything, because I'm not. It could happen to anybody. And that's kind of the message I'm trying to put out there. Um, and in the 80s in Atlantic City, I don't know if crack was a big thing in Atlantic City. I'm guessing any city, any community had a problem with drugs. I don't know. I was born in 1981, so I didn't follow the news at all. I still don't follow the news anymore, at least. But there's an element of the drug thing too. Uh, I'm not trying to poke light at these things, but if you're gonna write a movie about life on the streets, drug culture, homeless culture, you have to take some creative liberties. I'm not saying I'm an expert in any of this stuff. And I'm not trying to make light of these problems, but I don't think I did. But, some people are oversensitive about terminology. And I don't even know if you're supposed to call homeless people anymore. Is it houseless? Is there some other term? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going too long again, but this is one of my favorite scripts. I mentioned that it could be made into a feature because it has all those elements of the underdog story that people love. And it's a cool setting, 1980s Atlantic City. It's the same type of atmosphere from the marathon episode. And I guess I'll just cut it there. There is a connection in closing. There is a connection between the first one and this one, but there's no connection between the characters or anything. Rinse and Repeat Part 1 and this one are completely different stories. There's no connection. Just in spirit, I would say there's a connection. But like I said, if somebody ever read this and said, "Wow, we want to make this into a feature film," but this guy wants it to be a part of his series, like, I don't care, man. I don't care. If anyone ever wanted to purchase one of my scripts and wanted to make it whatever, then I'll just reorganize stuff. It's not a big deal. I just thought it was cool to make them like this as episodes because it was easier for me to organize them with a common theme or whatever. But I'm going too long, so yeah, this one, I would highly recommend this one.